Good morning, good evening, good night, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching from. My name is Evelyn McAleer. I am a spiritual mentor, speaker, and author. And today I am delighted to have with me Jennifer Maddy. Jennifer is from the little county in Ireland, County Louth. So Jennifer, you are very welcome today.
Thank you, Evelyn. Lovely to see you.
We finally got here. We had a few glitches, but the angels worked with Jennifer and she made her way onto Zoom. Now, I sat yesterday and read this beautiful book. It's called Timeless Love by Jennifer Maddy. So where I want to start this woman's journey, and this is part 4 of the woman's journey with Jennifer, is to share with you all an amazing journey that gave me goose pimples yesterday, that filled my eyes full of tears, and this book is full of love. Jennifer, will you share with us, please, your journey? As a child, you've always known that you were adopted. It was at a time where pregnancy out of wedlock was a mortal sin and it was hid from the public, but you've always known that you have been adopted. Could you take us through a wee bit of your childhood, please?
I could surely, Evelyn. Yes, I always knew. I knew from a very young age. I think the younger you know, the easier the path is. And I treated my mum and dad as my parents. And I always thought adopted is something to be very special. So my brother used to say, "You're adopted. You've got another mum and dad somewhere out there." So yes, I felt very special. But I didn't feel like I needed to embark on that journey when I was very young. I was quite content. I had a very happy childhood and my parents were just absolutely beautiful. They loved me unconditionally. It was only later on in life then when I started different things. You know yourself, Evelyn, we're like this little diamond, you know the little diamond, pure and crystal clear. And over time, little fingerprints came on my diamond, like emotions and life experiences. And it was later on in life when I started to delve into where I came from, and I wanted to find out everything then about myself, who I am, why am I here, and it just opened up that journey of my book.
Wonderful. There was part of this here, and I thought how amazing in life you worked literally across the road from where your mother, your birth mother, had been. Absolutely. As this secret pregnancy and given birth to you.
Yes, I worked in the TSB Bank in Grafton Street, and across the road, right across the road where you buy all those beautiful flowers, there's a street called Ann Street, and that's where the door was for Kuma. So I used to walk past it but never realised that's where I actually came from. So my mum, like my adopted mum, brought me there years later, and knocking on the door and going in was just a massive experience, opening that doorway.
And stepping in. Oh, amazing. I am a big fan of watching long lost families. So to actually read this and now to get talking to you today, because I think I want to feel, what those feelings were within you. There's a part in this book where you did get, through a bit of research and help, you found where you traced back to where your birth mother, where she originated from. But by that stage, when you had found her, she had passed away at a young age. She was only 44 at that age. But you found your granny, you found your grandmother. And she was a woman that was into angel cards.
She was a beautiful lady, very small. And every time she looked at me, she kept running away. I resembled my mum so much. So she got it hard to be in the same room as me. But as I got to know her, she had quite a character, full of fun, loved all the Irish songs. And yes, she opened up that she used to do the angel cards and read the tea leaves as well when she was younger. So that's where I must have inherited this gift from.
Beautiful. Now, I've underlined this in the book, and even now, the hair is just standing on my arms. There was a part where I guess you wanted to find out who your father was, and it was asked. And actually, your adopted mother has been so good, so significant in all of this journey of wanting you to find out where you came from. But you found out a location, and your aunt, I believe, went into the house beforehand to find out, is this the right house, after knocking on many, many doors. But I want to read this part out, Jennifer, because as Jennifer sat and waited in the car, oh my, the hairs are standing. I'm just covered. This is what happened to me. This is what happened to me yesterday reading this too.
Wow.
But as Jennifer sat waiting in the car, and her aunt had gone into a house to find out if this was where Jennifer's birth father was from. Okay, so this is in Jennifer's words. A man stood there. As I walked to the doorway, I began to wonder, could this be him? Could this be my birth father? This man turned out to be my birth dad's brother. He embraced me and said, your blood is my blood. We looked so alike. He told me to take a seat and he lifted the phone. After a few minutes, he handed the phone to me. I heard a man's voice on the phone. His first words were, I always hoped this day would come. And all I can say is today is a beautiful day. It was him, my birth father. Oh, every time. Tell me, please, because as I sat reading this, sitting in the car, you had searched intrally a lot of houses to find, and you finally got this.
Yes, we finally found the doorway. We had nearly given up hope that evening. And as you do, you go into a little Irish pub, and we were sitting, and the person I was with, he went to the doorway and he asked, does anybody know this man, Anthony Powers? And somebody said, he just lives around the corner. So we had searched all day, and at 6 o'clock we were given the address. So we pulled up outside, and it was just a little cottage, beautiful little cottage. And my aunt, she ran up to the door. So we waited. She actually pushed the door open. The door was open, so she pushed it open and went on in. And we had to wait in the car to see what was happening and what she would come out with. It was amazing.
That was a part, actually, sorry for interrupting you, Jennifer. When I read that, I thought, only in Ireland. Like, who walks on in? You just knock the door and let yourself on in.
Yeah, exactly. The door was open.
How was that then for you, sitting in the car waiting? I'm sure a load of thoughts went through your mind at that stage.
Oh, absolutely. Nerve-wracking. You know, as you say, you're just waiting in anticipation. You're nervous, you're excited, and you're scared as well, because you don't know what you're going to find. So amazing. So
how was it for you when you heard your father's voice, first of all, before you met him?
You know, it was overwhelming, and his words, that he always waited for the phone call, and today is a beautiful day. I don't think those words will ever leave me, that today is a beautiful day. So he embraced me. I was so blessed. He has embraced me all on my journey. He's just a phone call away. I've met his family, I've met his wife and his daughter and his other son. So yes, I've just been so blessed, and I feel, as I sent photographs and we got to know each other very slowly, when I went to his home and seen my photograph on his mantelpiece, it's when I really realised I am part of this family. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Well, this story just didn't end there, as any thing in long lost family, when it just doesn't end there. But on this journey, Jennifer also discovered that her birth mother had also had a son who was given up for adoption as well. So, Jennifer, you went in search, in hope of trying to find your brother. And then, finally, one day, the call came that your brother had reached out to try and find yourselves, if I've read that correctly.
You have indeed. I had arranged to fly to England to meet my dad for the first time. So I was working in the school. I still work in the same school. And I received a phone call from Kuma to say that my brother had made contact. So the protocol normally takes a little bit of while before you get to meet somebody or to talk to them. But because I've been on the journey for so many years and they knew me, they decided to give me his phone number. So that evening I phoned my brother. So it all happened on the one day. And the lady said to me, you know, it'll take a while before you get to meet him. And I said, no, I'm flying to England next week. And I did. The following week I flew to England, and I met my birth dad and his family. And then he drove me to a hotel, and my brother walked through the door, and it was like looking in the mirror. We're the image of each other. It's like we're Irish twins, you know, that difference of the Irish twins between us. So unbelievable. And my dad was there to witness that experience. Amazing day. And later on that afternoon, I brought my brother to meet my mum's daughters. So we had a huge family. The whole day was just meeting people all day long. Just the most beautiful experience.
So in your adoptive family, you were the eldest and you had a baby brother there. So you have a younger brother there. And then in your bloodline family, how many brothers and sisters do you have now, Jennifer?
So I have 3 sisters as well. So I have a brother and 3 sisters. So I only came, when I was adopted, I just have one brother from this life here. And now I have a family over in England. I have cousins down in Cork and Tralee. I've gone and I've met everybody. So yes, a wider family.
Beautiful. Tell me this, I'm curious to know, your brother that you met in England, did he ever get a chance to find out who his father was?
He didn't, no. And I don't think he's just ready yet to embark on that journey. We were hoping that we both had the same father, because Matt had started writing a book before he met me. So he had been channeled a book, and it's called Willpower. And the main character in the book is Anthony Power, and that's my dad's name. So we were sure that my dad might be his father, but we haven't come to that conclusion yet. But maybe it was just my mum getting the story out there. She might have been just channeling the book through him before he got to meet me.
So before I get to what Jennifer does now, and there's more to this story as well, on Jennifer's story, as the unfolding came about, her grandmother read angel cards, done angel cards, read tea leaves, and her brother, before meeting him, had also channeled a book. So this is now where the whole mystery of everything starts to unfold. Along Jennifer's journey as well, throughout her life, where she was married and had twins. I was going to say 2 twins, but then that's a waste of energy saying 2 twins. She had twins. And like a lot of people's journey in life, our paths divide when I believe our journey is finished with someone. So the marriage ended. After that, then Jennifer was diagnosed with cancer. Jennifer, you had another bit of a rocky patch to go through there.
I did. I started doing emotional journey work, and I'm sure you've heard of the journey cards. And while I was on a therapy bed and the girl was going through my emotions, and it was all the emotions of the male side, not just feeling connected to the males as they were leaving. And when I left her, I had a slight little pain in my side. So that little pain, it just wouldn't go away. So I started to go to the doctor to see what it was. And because I'd never been sick a day in my life. And I kept being sent home. And then eventually one doctor, he looked into my eyes, and he realized I was telling the truth, that I had pain. And he sent me for a scan, and that's where they found I had a cancerous tumor growing in my stomach. So it was a massive wake-up call. And
had you started doing a lot of work with angels prior to this?
I had connected to the Angels of Integrated Energy Therapy. I had done a weekend workshop. So I had been calling the angels in, and I had been surrounding myself in that lovely energy. And as I wrote in the book, as I was diagnosed with cancer, the nurse that was looking after me, she was so kind, and she couldn't understand, why I was still there. And I said, I've got cancer. And she just took my hand. She looked into my eyes and she says, I speak to you as your angel, and you're going to be okay. And only I connected to the angelic realm, I heard the words, and I knew I was going to be okay. I felt the cancer was leaving me. I was starting to wake up. Wake up is the word, I'd say.
Perfect. Lovely. You see, this is the thing when we speak about cancer too, because you need to be very careful with people. Some people have a different understanding of where the body comes into dis-ease, but your awareness was possibly a different awareness, as you knew why that the cancer had begun, the manifestation of this, that there was old energy or something that was stagnant that needed to be released from you. Could you talk us through what treatments, therapies, what did you take or do yourself to release this, Jennifer?
Okay. Well, I did go for chemo. I was to get 8 sessions of chemo, and they stopped at 6. They decided that the cancer was gone at 6 sessions. But alongside the chemo, then I started doing more of my emotional work. I went and I started to learn how to do key energy massage, because I feel like massage, you know, taps on the energy points on the body. So it opened me up. I started to do things that I loved to do, meeting up with new people, going on workshops, and just opening up on a more spiritual pathway. So it was the doorway to my destiny, I believe, opening me up and giving me the permission and allowing me to walk forward.
Beautiful. Lovely. I love hearing all of these spiritual awakenings, and what the awakening is. Sometimes it takes a big knock for us to go, aha, and the angels all come in different forms, shapes and sizes. Some we see, some we don't see, some we hear, some just land right in front of us. So it's just being awake and aware of whatever comes about. So Jennifer, to take us to where you are now, tell everyone what you do now.
Okay, so now I'm an author, so I've wrote the book. I'm a spiritual teacher, so I teach the IET, the Integrated Energy Therapy. I've also worked with Eileen McCourt, so I'm a Reiki master or grandmaster. So I actually help people now on their pathway. I get people to lie down on the bed. It's, as you know, we're the conduits of light, so we bring the light through, and it's up to the person, their self-healing, whether they hear the words and what happens in their body as we channel the energy into their body. So I love it. I have a pyramid. If you can you see a pyramid behind me? I work with a beautiful pyramid, and the pyramid, as I say, it's a conduit. You come into your own channel, and it amplifies and magnifies the energy. So it brings it just to a higher state and a higher state of consciousness. As you know, Evelyn, our thoughts from your books, our thoughts manifest. So what we think, it goes straight into our bodies, into our hearts. So we have to keep our thoughts crystal clear.
Beautiful. Jennifer, can you just explain what IET is, please?
Sure. IET is Integrated Energy Therapy, and we work with the healing angels. So it works on the chakra system. We work from our higher self, and we come through all of our chakras in our body, right down to our soul star. So it's a complete clearing, and it's clearing with the energy of the angels. So as you're tapping on the chakras, you're asking the angels to energize, trigger, and release emotions that are held in the body and the energy field. So it's perfect. Beautiful energy.
So who would your work benefit?
Oh, a lot of different types of people. I love working with children as well as the adults. As the children, they are our teachers. So listening to them, and they teach me as well what they have to say. They're pure, their truth that comes through. And so most people benefit. I've worked with a few people who have been suicidal, and I'm delighted to say that they've gone through the process, and now they are working with their higher purpose as well. So suicide, depression, cancer, really a huge variety of people.
Perfect. Yeah, it's just to get that energy shifting to come back into remembrance, because I really believe that's what a lot of people are here to do, just to help remember the truth of what you are. And you've had a very eventful journey, Jennifer Maddy. Thank you so much for taking time to write it in a book. Thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for the beautiful message that was in the front of my book. Life is full of surprises. Prepare to be surprised. So, ooh. Jennifer, if anyone wishes to contact you for any of your treatments, do you do them one-to-one in person, or do you do anything via internet?
I do. I work for Mind Soul Ireland. It's a group set up in Dundalk. So we work on the internet. I can do card readings. I can do healing over the phone. So you just connect to Mind Soul Ireland. And then if you want to make a private reading with myself, just message me through Facebook and we'll set up a one-to-one.
Beautiful. And I have one last question to ask, because I was actually speaking to someone last week who is putting it out there that they will find their sister. They believe they have a sister. And when I read your book yesterday, I messaged them and I said, I'll speak to Jennifer tomorrow. Is there any advice if someone is searching for their blood relation? Because not all of them are really successful. Not people greet each other as we imagine it to be. It's beautiful to hear an outcome like you've had yourself. But is there any advice or preparation that you could give someone if they are searching?
Yes. It's all to do with the inner work. So to try and tap into your inner self and to clear your own emotions inside of you. As you know, we have to love ourselves first and clear our own energy fields. And the clearer we are, then the quicker things manifest on the outside. And I'm just going to quote your book. If it's meant to be, it should be effortless. So if the energy is to flow and it's meant to be and spirit want that to happen, it'll happen. And if not, just let it go. Don't try and force it to happen. It's not meant to be. So
beautiful.
Allow the energy.
And anyone that wishes to receive your book, where can they get it, Jennifer?
They can get it online through Amazon, so you can. It's worldwide through Amazon, and I also have it available here in my cabin in Dundalk, and it's available through Michael Smith's bookshop in Dundalk, Strandfield, and it's in the Zone in Warrenpoint. So, there's a few locations around Newry as well.
Lovely. Well, Jennifer Maddy, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, whoever has tuned in to watch this magical lady. And remember, we all are on our own journey. No matter what your experiences are, one thing we all have in common is our emotions and feelings. We know what it is to laugh, to cry, to feel good, and to feel not so good. But remember, you're surrounded by your angels, whatever you wish to call them, whatever you wish to see them. You're always surrounded. It is within you. You have the power to achieve anything. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time this day.
And thank you so much, Evelyn. It was a pleasure. Thank you.